YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with my channel update March 2013. It's been a very busy month, quite a lot of it taken up by me being sick for a couple of weeks there with the dreaded man flu, but anyway, chest virus and things like that, and usually when I get sick like that the allergies take over and things like that, so just a bit of, you know, hay fever stuff going in there, so all better. Didn't really get any time off work, which didn't help and made me sicker. Yeah, so then all I did was get behind on work, have to do more work, yeah, get behind on other things. But I have made some progress with some things, so we'll go through things. I'll start out with other pickups. Now, I'm quite excited about this find. Obviously, the Spectre Video being one of the original computers that I started with. I do like Spectre Video gear, so I like obscure Spectre Video gear. And some of it arrived recently, and it's not a game, so it's not really worth doing an individual pickup video. And it is a pair of these very curious joysticks. Now, all Spectre Video joysticks are labelled with a number, so these are SV1-103s, and they are, I'll turn up this way to see the keypad properly, specifically for the ColecoVision. So they are one of the only third-party controllers made for the ColecoVision console. So not only does it have two buttons in two different places, it has the Coleco's number pad that is suitable for inserting the overlays in the side. Sorry about that, it's like a little bit of an interruption. So they are quite a nice replacement, and Spectre Video made good joysticks. Now I have a pair, so there's two of them. Now they both do work within question, but some of the contacts are very either sticky, so one of them wants to go down all the time, but in general principle its buttons and other directions work fine. And this one, the trigger button is a little, I mean it's clicking, but it's not clicking all the time, and other than that, that one moves quite well. So I need to take them apart and completely clean the contacts, and what it'll have plastic parts pushing down on little bubbles, but I'll probably do a special video of tearing these down, I would say, because it'd be very interesting, because you don't see this down very often. So I'm very pleased with getting those, and obviously working. They make quite good Coleco controllers that are a bit different from using the Coleco ones. Also during the month, this was actually fairly early in the month, and once again another pickup that's not worth a video all by itself. It is a set of manuals for the MicroWorld computer. Now, MicroWorld was a computer that I almost bought and went down the path of when I was choosing computers, but I could not really afford one. I could maybe scrape through and get the black and white one. At the time the colour one had only just come out, but the colour one was that bit much more expensive. So I've always been interested to get one and have a play, and they're an Australian built computer. So I do have one loose, but they're yet another one of those computers that require to get the power through the monitor socket. So you need quite a convoluted setup. I know where to get the power supply and monitor output connectors from. I just haven't got around to it, or prioritise the money to spend on it. But I picked up this set of books for quite cheap. So we have Microsoft Basic. So the MicroBees also ran Microsoft Extended Basic, very similar to the TRS-80 Color version as far as standards are concerned. Not quite as new as the version that was in the Spectre Videos and MSX machines. So we have a book on the Microsoft Basic, which is got quite a bit of detail in there, and I do like collecting the books. MicroBees were also a very CPN orientated machine, and you could get WordStar running in the CPN environment. And there's the general MicroBee Users Manual. So I said I just got my the MicroWorld that I have, loose with no cables for $20. No guarantee it even works, but and this is the user manual MicroWorld 16K Basic. So it's all typewritten, printed up books, and an actual published book. So getting started on your MicroBee. Peter Lukes and Tim Hartnell. So Pittman, probably published in Australia at some stage, and that looks quite well laid out with some pictures and things like that. So always nice getting some more books for the collection. And next is another pickup, and yes, I bought a modern game. Shocked you all. Bought one last month too, didn't I? Yes, that's 2 months in a row. And this one I actually pre-ordered. Even worse and a bigger shock. And it is a PC game that I was very much into back in the day, and I have bought the modern version, and this is the expansion for it. And it came up with an offer for the pre-order that was actually quite cheap. And I have a collector's edition of StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, and yes, I've opened it. Just to give you an idea, summary of what the contents. Has a back plate as well. So there are all the things that come in the special edition. And the whole silly thing is, other than to get the CD code, I didn't actually really need to open it. Because obviously I already have StarCraft 2, so all I did was type in the code out of here into my StarCraft 2, and it started updating itself, so I didn't even need the CD that came with it. It just went and did it without asking, because you've got to update your StarCraft 2 anyway before you can do it, and it actually downloaded the Heart of the Swarm material. It actually took quite a while, so no problem logging on this time. It was mainly the large download time. So what do we got? There we go. So the actual main expansion game DVD, which has my code in it, is basically just that. There are a few guest codes here. But you also get StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm soundtrack, which I haven't tried out yet. As you can see, still shrink wrapped in there. It's got a few tracks on it. You get a reflection off the plastic there. So there's some guest passes in there. There's also a behind the scenes DVD. Now, being me in my busy life, I haven't had much time to play it yet, but I have fired it up and played the first introduction level. And the cinematics that come with the game are actually quite nice. Now, it comes with a mouse pad, which I more than likely will actually be putting on the machine that I play it on, which is inside the house. And it comes with a hardback art book, which I also haven't opened, and we'll get around to it some stage. So I've had it for a couple of weeks. It arrived right in the period when I was sick, so I haven't really had much of a chance to play with it. So I'll just put that to one side. I won't try and put it together at the moment. Also, another little pickup from the Retro Stig, who's no longer a retro collector and totally active member of the community. He's more into his minis at the moment, and he sold off most of his Game Gear collection. But he was into fixing Game Gears, and I asked him whether he had any capacitor sets left, and he had 2 sets left. So I actually have 3 Game Gears here. My first one here, which is the one Ed T1138 sent me on stage, where the sound works fine, and the picture works for like a minute and then goes. So that one needs a minor repair, so I'm going to repair that. And then I have 2 others. Sorry, fingerprint on it. I have 2 others that are varying degrees of whether the sound and the video doesn't work on either. So I'm hoping to have enough parts here to at least get, obviously, my primary one, which I want to keep on, and get another one up and running. And then I'll either trade or or sell that one off, and it's good for me to get into more fixing. Now, also on to next thing, my retro PC using the which model was it? GeForce FX 5500 my cousin brought around and gave me. Using the S-Video output, I can capture. So you run DOSBox on the machine, run it full screen with the display mirrored to the S-Video port, and using the NVIDIA card, the capture actually comes out in colour instead of black and white like when I was using the ATI card previously. So now I should be able to do some gameplays on DOS era games, and things like one of the first ones I want to do, sneak preview, is the X-Wing Collector's CD-ROM pack. So I'll do a proper in-depth review of that Audio is capturing fine. I just need another little cable so I can split the audio into the computer directly. I don't think capturing it off the little set of speakers on the PC is going to do the sound quality any good. In fact, the little CD thing, speaker thing I've got on that monitor there crackles, and when you bang the volume switch, so not a good thing. Probably need to take that apart and clean it. I'm not sure if I mentioned last month, but the arcade machine is finally working. Now the monitor has a bit of black ghosting and things like that, so it does need some of the pots adjusting and things like that, and maybe some minor components tweaking. My electronics guy, who now has my elusive MSX 2 Plus booting up, working, and running cartridges, it has to now put together the circuit they've designed to replace the power supply. It's going to have a power brick now instead of the power supply inside it. It's actually been quite complicated. They've enjoyed it, but it's been quite a complicated repair, so we'll have that soon. Now next on to my retro releases, or re-releases. I have a big announcement there. So the Coleco release of EA Classics, which is my first title, will be by Collectivision. I've always said that the Coleco releases will be by one of the existing publishers, and Collectivision has graciously said that they'll publish my games. So need to finalise some more things, and I should have what I call the final combined beta off to him later in the week. And also my 2 beta testers are going to get another version as well to play with at one time, just to make sure we've got all of the bugs out of it and everything's combined. I've done the title screen graphics. I've added a few extra graphical things in some of the games, and they're all looking quite nice. So probably just a final pass through. Had some computer issues over Easter weekend, and I currently have lost some bug fixes, so I'm trying to restore those off my virtual machine image at the moment. But if not, I'll just have to do them again, so that's alright. I have some MSX cartridge cases on the way. So the one of the guys that owns the case mold, a case mold for MSX, he had some cartridge cases, so I've got them on the way. So I'll be able to, obviously once I've got the Coleco version off to Collectivision to manufacture those, I'll be working at putting together some MSX releases, and I'll be publishing those myself. And then next on the list are both the Sega SC1000 and SC3000 release and original Spectre video. The original Spectre video will only be in very small numbers, but I'll just in an interest of, I'd just love to see my own games running on my old Spectre video. There won't be many people out there who want to buy one, but so the numbers I make will probably be under 10. There's probably more interested in the Sega 1000, 3000 users out there. There's also other machines that use the same architecture. You've got the Memotech MTX, the Sword M5, and Einstein. Probably for the Memotech and Einstein, I might do a disc release for those, or just if anybody is actually interested in me porting it to those platforms, I'll be able to do. I don't have a Memotech, but there is a gentleman who may help me do the porting to that one. And Einstein, I may have a lead on an Einstein at the moment, so I'm working on that at the moment. I have a Sword M5, and cartridge case, I might be able to do modify an MSX one for those, but otherwise maybe just a bare PCB. Seriously, don't know. That's probably even less people out there who want a game for the Sword M5 than the original Spectre video users. That's where we're at with the re-releases, and as soon as I get those out of the way, I'm going to go straight on to getting Pixidis ready for the Coleco and the other ones as well. But as I said, so EA Classics, Coleco, then get it out on a few of the other ones, while working on Pixidis and get that released as well. Now my Electric Adventures website, which is actually quite old, I don't update content on it very often, but it's based on Joomla. The host went and upgraded something at some stage, so I can't even edit articles on there at the moment, and rather than go and repair the thing, I'm a bit tired with the look. It doesn't really have the flexibility, so I've actually mostly written a complete replacement website. Now one of the key drivers, obviously I want to blog, I have a regular blog entry on there, and then Joomla was fine for that, But one thing that I couldn't put on there easily was my collection. I'm going to properly document my collection, especially my retro computers. So I'm writing a custom module on the website for documenting my collection. Allows me to take multiple photographs and have a bit of a story and sub-articles on each piece in the collection. So have the hardware and then have the software that is related to that system, and organise it that way. I'm writing that as a module, so there's a possibility if anybody's else interested, you could run it as a sub-module on your website. Now the download section will be tidied up, made it easy to use, so those that are interested can download my classic titles for the Spectra Video and MSX. Currently you can only download the MSX ones. Now that I have a Spectra Video SVR 318328 tape drive, I haven't got the disk drive working yet. I might be able to get those tape images and convert them to WAV files so people can download those, or maybe even suck them into an emulator and then have more, I'll be able to get them onto a PC environment and have them available as downloads. Of course, all the magazine images are available on the current website. They'll be available as well. And I'm also going to have a small shop. This is obviously, I'm going to self-sell the MSX and Sega and original Spectra Video and all those other ones, so I do need a bit of a shop there. Anybody who, and I may actually bring out some more releases of my tape-based games if there is interest. But at the moment the shop will primarily be for the cartridge re-releases. I may do a second printing of my book for the Spectra Video and MSX as well, and make that available, or perhaps even a digital download, who knows. But anyway, that was a very busy month, lots of exciting things coming up. I have subscribed to a couple of Kickstarters, so I'm looking forward to those. In other words, the Ouya and the GCW handheld, which will be great for emulating quite a few systems on the go, and will replace my original Dingu handheld. Yes, might have a lead on a new retro computer for the collection, and of course the Sega Master System collection. We've got a couple of titles through in the month, and I'm hoping to get a few more in the next couple of months, but it is getting very hard to find titles at a reasonable price for that one. One I'm really keen to get is Power Strike 2, because they actually do come up on Australian eBay all the time, but people are still paying silly prices for those. Like there's one on there right now, it's in really ratty condition, doesn't even have a manual, and it's already at like $60 just before this, and it's probably gone up more because it's only got a day to go, so it's just ridiculous. And a lot with fairly average games and a Sega Master System 2 console, but it had a Power Strike 2 and it went for I think $250 last week. So don't think I'm going to be getting one of those anytime soon. Alright, thank you for tuning in, thank you to all my subscribers and all you great YouTubers out there, and I'll catch you all next time.